I'm delighted to have with us today Simon Fraser, VP Insights and Consulting EMEA at InMoment. Simon has designed groundbreaking customer experience strategies at InMoment for over a decade, working across key verticals and channels. Although based in Europe, he takes a global approach to best practices and innovation. Welcome, Simon. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you. Very nice to be here as well.
Now, Simon, with the experience economy evolving rapidly, how are businesses shifting from traditional customer service models to fully immersive, experience-led engagement strategies that drive both satisfaction and commercial success?
Great question. So there's a growing recognition in today's economy that the quality of experiences matters when thinking about the choices customers make. So this is resulting in an even greater emphasis on the experiences being provided to customers whenever and wherever they choose to interact with a brand. And the recognition that we need to expand upon the more traditional methodologies for the measurement of customer experience in order to keep pace. So we've moved away from talking about customer service to thinking about the wider customer experience. And CX is not just about resolving issues or staying in our channels, our swim lanes. Instead, best-in-class companies are driven to understand their customers, to better anticipate their needs and solving for their problems before they arise or certainly before they take hold. And in today's tough economy, brands also need to think about creating moments of delight in order to bring customers back. So what's happening? Leading brands are moving beyond the moment of transaction to extend their view on the experience. Consider where we typically pick up early signals of issues, for example. So that would be typically in the customer care team. And where does reputational damage typically take place? So those are through social sites or social reviews, such as Google. Both of these areas need to be considered, and therefore we need to think wider, and we also need to think deeper. And we should be asking ourselves these types of questions. What emotions or memories do we want to make for our customers? What rituals do we not want to disrupt? And how well do we understand our customers and their values across multiple segments? So businesses are tapping into both customers and employees for insights on how to co-create and identify the moments that really matters. And my final point on this first question is that, we have so many options in terms of data to help us bring together a more clear view of the customer. And for a growing segment of brands, measurement is going beyond traditional online surveys through to connecting different signals together in a coherent and unified way in order to drive up improvement. So capturing customers' reviews, their reactions, the strengths of sentiment in their comments and their context, so thick and thin data, if you like, and linking changes that we're going to be making to delivering meaningful business outcomes.
Indeed. You've touched upon some really important points there. And I guess given the context of today's economy, we are looking at AI being a buzzword more so than previous years. Now, as businesses accelerate this hyper-personalization effort, how can they ensure that AI-driven experiences remain authentic, emotionally intelligent, and genuinely customer-centric rather than feeling overly automated?
So in my experience, making customers feel valued and understood is key to improving customer experiences and driving positive outcomes as well as managing expectations. So this involves not only recognizing what customers are saying, but also understanding why they're saying it and what they truly mean. So then we have to take action off the back of that. So making it clear to customers that we're listening and acting on behalf. When we think about personalization, we also need to recognize that there is some nuance required here. Sometimes brands need to draw the line in terms of what is suitable or desired by their customers. Whether hyper or not, personalization is not always required, appreciated, or welcomed. And just because we can get more personal because of our access to all this different type of data does not mean that we should. So we have to judge its relevance. And this is where the role of AI comes into play. So if you think about artificial intelligence, Particularly, I'm talking about NLP, so natural language processing, powered by machine learning techniques. AI can help analyze those customer interactions to gain the right type of insights and at scale. So by accurately measuring sentiment, better understanding the implicit signals around effort, emotion, and intent, businesses can better bring their customers' needs to life and provide more personal touch when it's best to. And we also need to think about the fact that AI isn't just about, I don't know, making processes more efficient or faster. We need to take some care here in terms of finding opportunities for automation, but also AI augmentation, and always allowing room for the humans to come in and further elevate that experience as well. And, typically our humans, colleagues, our experts need to be on hand in order to come in and solve when there's a need for escalation, or as I say, where there's an opportunity to delight and elevate experiences. But we need to get the balance right there. So businesses really need to test and learn to get this right over time, their processes. And when I'm talking to the market, I can still sense some caution around AI and implementing it. So we need to work our way through this process, because there's no doubt it is here to stay. All businesses are going to have to get involved and lean in. So best to start that process now.
Indeed. And I guess with this redesign is also the growing question, how are businesses in the region going to reposition CX from a support function to a core business strategy that directly influences profitability, market differentiation, and long-term growth? How are you assessing this at this point?
So I'm seeing that in customer experience, businesses are moving away from it being seen or positioned as a support function to being seen much more as a strategic growth engine, and that's really exciting. This is being achieved through breaking down silos, by unifying and interpreting and integrating data at scale across different types of data and different data sets. And brands are also embedding customer experience management and improvement into profitability models and long-term growth plans. But this does not simply happen by accident. And this is where we need to also consider around culture here. So for customer experience to have strategic value for businesses, there needs to be a focus on culture and transformation, on enablement, if you like. There has to be executive buy-in across different departments, different functions, and for there to be a wide business adoption of customer experience and its measurement and its analytics. So repositioning CX is not just about data integration, it's also with that focus on culture, on data and governance. So how can customer experience influence business, which is part of what you're asking there? So the types of impact that customer experience can create include the following examples. So creating market differentiation by better standing out from the competition, identifying and delivering on opportunities to up or to cross-sell products and services. So where there has been that connection, you can identify those moments where you can make that additional move in order to drive better outcomes for the customers, but also for the businesses as well. And you also raised the really important question, within this region, we have multiple markets, all with their different cultures and their different needs. So we know through our experience that we have to take account of those cultural nuances as well when we're thinking about Europe. So in making CX decisions, it's important for brands to understand commonalities across the different markets, but also where there are those differences, and we need to respect them and identify them and play to the strengths within those different markets, rather than just force fit one view of the customer, one view of customer experience across all the different markets within this region.
That's very valid, Simon, and some very, very important points that you've touched upon over there. And finally, how are brands reimagining customer engagement strategies to create seamless, intelligent, and emotionally resonant interactions across all touch points?
Great question. So as I mentioned earlier, so brands are working on unifying experiences across all the different touch points that they offer and operate within. So with the aim of reducing the chance of disjointed customer experiences, or where there's a clash in experience design across those different channels and touch points. So there needs to be some consistency. It needs to feel right for the brand, and it needs to be aligned with customers' expectations of the type of service, the type of experience that they should receive from that particular brand. The brands are also needing to consider what the optimal experience design is for each of their different journey stages. So while some moments do offer the opportunity for delight and excitement, there may be other moments, I can think of customer care, for example, in this space, where you need to be providing reassurance and comfort. So thinking about what is the most pertinent and relevant emotion to create across those different moments is important. So think about how best to measure success, therefore, also may differ across those different channels and touch points. So as customer expectations change, how we're thinking about measuring and understanding them also needs to change. So keep that coherent, integrated brand outlook for measuring that overall performance as well is going to be critical. So bringing all those different touch points together, but also then linking it back out to business outcomes. So be it customer retention, customer profitability, or customer conversion. So what to do? First of all, start with a plan that leads towards a goal that the business really cares about. And in terms of experience design, create a culture where there is that balance between risk and reward, where test and learn is part of the way that things are done. And I would say in my experience, the businesses that really get that are the ones that make the most progress. So there is not that sort of fear of failure. There is that appetite to try and change things and to transform the way that the businesses are sort of dealing with the customers. So keep that in mind. Also recognize where progress is being made, share those stories back internally, as well as ideally back out to the customer as well. So we're seeing some great examples of "you said we did." So customers can feel that they've been listened to and understood, and change is happening off the back of them sharing their voices. And if you do all of these things, then you have a winning strategy fit for the future.
Thank you, Simon. It's been a pleasure to have you join us today. We look forward to meeting you and the InMoment team at the Customer Experience Live show in Manchester in July. Until then, take care.
Thank you.